What's good, everybody? I appreciate you checking in. All right, we're going to break down our week 3 matchup against the Carolina Panthers. It's our home opener at Allegiant Stadium. If any of you guys out there, if you guys are actually attending the game, I'll be at the J lot before the game, tailgating with all the Raider fans. I mean, this one's going to be hyped. Everybody's excited about this one. AP's home opener, first home game as the official head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. So if you're around the area, man, come out, support. I'm definitely going to come out with the Raider Nation, tailgate, and have fun with you guys. And so let me know in the comment section down below if you're going to be there. Again, try to join us in J lot. It's going to be fun. And so we're going to break this thing down. Obviously, there was a switch up announced Monday on the Carolina side. They're going to switch up the starting quarterback. It's no longer going to be Bryce Young. It's now going to be Andy Dalton. I'm also going to touch about the expectations I have going into this Carolina game. And so I want to get your feedback. So get ready in that comment section. But before we get into it, if you can, please hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. It definitely helps me out. But at the end of the day, if you want, hit that subscribe button. My next giveaway is at 4,000 subscribers. So if you want to be including that, hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell as well, so you know when I drop more content and when that giveaway goes down. And so before we get into the week 3 matchup, let's talk about one massive piece of news that we just got yesterday, and that's our soon to be and really was a superstar last year's Malcolm Kuntz. They finally announced, we got the report, came out, his season's officially over. We knew that he was put on the IR, and we knew that knee injury that he sustained the week of, the week going into our first matchup against the Chargers, we knew that it could have been bad because it was a non-contact knee injury. Whenever you have a non-contact injury, especially to a lower extremity, right? Knees, all your major ligaments, you just knew that it just doesn't sound good. So he went to the IR. A lot of us were hoping that we were going to see him at some point, maybe midway through the season, as he kind of rehabs this injury. But unfortunately, it came out that it's season ending. So we are not going to see him this year. So I hope he heals up right. I hope he gets right. And he's going to go in. He's going to go into the offseason as a free agent. So it's up to the Raiders to see, what do you want to do? Do you want to potentially offer him a little extension, depending on how severe this knee injury is, and try to get him at a cheap deal, lock him in for maybe a year or two? It's up to the Raiders to see how we want to play that out. But it's just unfortunate. But at the end of the day, it's next man up. It's the next man up mentality. Every single team goes through injuries, whether it be minor injuries to, second stringers, third stringers, players that aren't really relevant to or can impact the game. But it could be to major players. Look at Christian McCaffrey through the majority of his career. He's a major part of any offense he plays on, but unfortunately that injury bug does seem to plague him quite a bit. So it happens to all teams. And so again, I hope the best, but it's next man up mentality. And so Charles Snowden, he came in, he started, I believe it was week 1 against the Chargers. And so he's going to have to step up his game. Tyree Wilson, if you find yourself getting that rotation in at the edge, at the defensive end position, which I expect him to, you better step up. You better do everything you can to live up to that first round, 7th overall pick expectation. And so Tyree Wilson needs to step up. He didn't play last week, but I believe Antonio Pierce did say he's going to suit up. So it's time for him to step up. And then Kayvon Chasen that we just brought on before the Ravens game, our week 2 matchup. He's a former first-round draft pick. We got to see if we can get something out of him. And Rob Leonard, our defensive line coach, he's done an amazing work with our defensive line as well as our edge rushers. He really turned Malcolm Kuntz around as well last year and leading up into this year. And so that's why a lot of us had high hopes for Malcolm Kuntz. If somebody can turn Kayvon Chasen around, I think Rob Leonard has a really good chance at doing that. I hope all the best for Malcolm Kuntz, and I hope he recovers from this injury well. We can see him in the silver and black once again, but at the end of the day, we got guys on this roster that need to step up and show out. Janarius Robinson, another name to throw out there. Janarius Robinson, he's got to step up as well and just be that counter opposite of Max Crosby to really influence our quarterback, keep that quarterback in the pocket, and let our defensive line just finish. And so, again, horrible news. We hate to see it, but the games don't stop. The season doesn't pause. We got to still show up and show out. And so with that being said, let's jump into our week 3 matchup. Carolina Panthers at home opener. The entire Raider Nation is hyped for it. And so let's talk about my expectations. Let's talk about the offensive side first. Now, what am I going to expect out of this offense going into week 3? And Antonio Pierce has touched on it multiple times during his press conferences throughout the week. And this offensive line, there's things that I've said in the past. I want to see us go deep more. I want to see us move the pocket with Gardner Minshew. I want to see more play action. No, the number one thing I want to see this week, first and foremost, is this offensive line has to step up. This offensive line as a whole unit has to step up. Going into the season, we wanted a Colton Miller to kind of be this anchor at our left tackle position. And unfortunately, he's been one of the worst ones on this offensive line. We didn't pick up a offensive tackle in the first round of this past draft. We got Brock Bowers, so we were hoping that Mumford was going to step up and be that right tackle, step up and be that anchor on the right side. And unfortunately, again, a lot of question marks. Dylan Parham, he's been playing okay. Andre James has played horribly so far this season. We've done nothing but switch our left guard in and out, right? Cody Whitehair started against the Chargers. He played so badly that we started Andres Pete against the Ravens. And then at halftime, Andres Pete played so horribly in the first half, we decided to go back to Cody Whitehair. And so we need this offensive line to start gaining some chemistry. And now what we're hearing is that Jackson Powers Johnson, our second draft pick of this past draft, has a chance at playing. Antonio Pierce said that if he was a betting man, he'd bet on you will see Jackson Powers Johnson play this week. And if Jackson Powers Johnson is healthy, I want to see him play the entire game. And here's my reason why. If Jackson Powers Johnson can get his first start against an NFL team, against an NFL defensive line, I want to be against the Carolina Panthers. If he's going to have some learning curve, have it be against the Carolina Panthers. Prep so that if he does find success, if he does kind of show up and be that highly touted offensive lineman coming out of this last year's draft, I want it to be kind of in this moment, right? Go through have some of those growing pains, build off of them, have an entire week of film to kind of improve, tweak some things, and then be ready for the Cleveland Browns next week. And so if Jackson Powers starts against anybody, I definitely want to be up against this Carolina Panthers front four. And so in addition to that, in addition to our offensive line just needing to step up as a whole, this unit needs to get the chemistry down. I want to see our offense have a fast start. I want us to, you cannot come out flat. And I'm not saying that very first drive needs to lead to points. It would be great if it led to points, a touchdown, a field goal, or what have you. I want to see us move the chains a couple times. I want to see us get a couple first downs. I want to see us, move 20, 30 yards downfield, because against the Ravens, we came out flat. Against the Ravens, I believe Gardner Minshew got sacked, and it was almost a sack fumble that first play of the game. I don't want to see that. I want to see us open up this game, that very first drive, and move that ball downfield a little bit. Get some momentum, right? I want to see us build off of what we finished that second half of the football game against the Ravens, right? We came out in the second half against the Ravens. We had a game plan and we executed. We put points up in that second half. We were moving the ball. We were moving the chains. We were opening up that offense. I want to see that. I want to see us continue that momentum that we had the second half against the Ravens and start it right out the box, right in the beginning against this Carolina Panthers defense. And if we do that, I think we can have ourselves a really fun game to watch this coming game. And so this is what I want to see. I want to see our offense. I want to see our offensive line start to improve and start to grow as a unit. You're only as good as your weakest link on the offensive line, and it starts with communication. And in order to gain that communication, in order to have that communication, we have to have we have to solidify our front five. We got to know who is going to be our starters moving forward so they can start to gain that communication and that rapport within one another. In addition to that, do not come out flat. You have to start fast. Move those chains, gain some momentum, build off of what we did in that second half of the Ravens game. And so let me know in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts? What do you want to see out of our offense? What are your expectations going into this game against the Carolina Panthers? And now let's jump to the defensive side of the ball. The expectations that I want out of this defense going against the Panthers, let's jump into the defensive side. And now most of us know by now, Andy Dalton is now going to be the starter of the Carolina Panthers. They released that or announced that on Monday this past week that Andy Dalton's going to be that starter and they're benching Bryce Young. And so here's the thing. In my previous video, I kind of broke down my thoughts on that. And this is Andy Dalton's a veteran. He's a veteran. He's going to come in. He's going to understand the situation. He's going to handle situations much better than what Bryce Young was going to do. And he has that veteran presence. So that's going to make it just a little more difficult. And the one thing that may happen, you might see at this Carolina offense, is they've been so flat. Even though it's early in the season, they've been so flat these last two games. I believe they only put up, I think it was 3 or 6 points against the Chargers last week. There might be a renewed confidence in this offense. When you put somebody else under center, confidence might grow in some of these offensive weapons, whether it be some of the running backs or receivers. Adam Thielen, he's a veteran over there. He might have some renewed confidence that now he's got a veteran quarterback throwing his way. Deontay Johnson, one of the receivers they brought in from the Steelers, he's shown some frustration these past 2 games. There might be a renewed confidence. Here's the thing, defense, don't let that get started. Do not underestimate what this offense can do. Andy Dalton, I believe it was last year, he came in, played 1 game, started 1 game last year with the Carolina Panthers, and he came in, I believe he threw like 2 touchdowns and over 300 yards. So Andy Dalton, he still can move the ball. He can still move that ball around down the field, and so do not underestimate what this Carolina Panthers offense can be with a veteran quarterback. Now, one big thing that I want to see is a shut down this run game. Shut down this run game, force Andy Dalton to have to beat us with his arm, right? Get them in 3rd and long situations where we now put them in situations that we know what they're going to do. They're going to have to pass on 3rd and 9. They're going to have to pass on 3rd and 7. So put them in situations that force them to do what we know they're going to do, is pass the ball. But shut down this run game. Force Andy Dalton to beat us with his arm. And one of the ways that you do that is, again, shut down the run game. But 2, you got to get to him. Andy Dalton is not a mobile quarterback. Build off of what you did against Lamar Jackson. Get to him fast. Get to him quick. Disguise some of those coverages. Run some stunts on the defensive line. Make that offensive line think. Don't just pin your ears back and just run your front 4 straight. Run some twists, run some stunts, make that offensive line think a little bit. And don't get me wrong, Patrick Graham's great at it, so I expect him to do that. But we got to get to Andy Dalton. You got to get to him early, right? Those are momentum killers in a game. So I want to see us. I want to see us sack Andy Dalton 2, maybe even three times in the first half. Right? Come out after him fast. Come after him quick. Set the tone. Let them know early we're coming to get you. And so that's what I want to see out of this defense is just force the Carolina Panthers into situations that make them uncomfortable and force them to do what we think they have to do, which is pass the ball on a 3rd and long. And so shut that running game down, get to Andy Dalton, have fun, man, because this is a game where this defense can take it to them. This is going to be a fun game. And so that's kind of my breakdown of the game itself. We've got offensive, I broke down what I wanted to see on the offense. I broke down what I wanted to see on the defense. And at the end of the day, we have to beat them the way we're supposed to beat them, the way that everybody expects us to beat them. That's what we have to do. Us Raider fans, we're so susceptible to thinking that we're going to come in and just beat everybody up because we're expected to. But as all of us true Raider fans know, we have come up with disappointment year in and year out. We have to come out and beat them 27-10, 30-10. We have to beat them the way we're supposed to. And one of the ways that you do that is do not play down to their level. Do not underestimate them. Don't think you're going to come in and just beat the piss out of them just because they're not very good. You're still playing professionals. That's why they say any given Sunday, we beat the Ravens. No one bet on us to beat the Ravens. The Minnesota Vikings beat the 49ers last week. Nobody bet on that to happen. There were so many upsets last week. Why? Because 1, it's any given Sunday, but 2, you're playing against professional football players. These guys are still some of the best in the world at what they do. And if you take them lightly, if you just slip a little bit, they're good enough. Any team is good enough to take advantage of you sleeping on them a little bit. So do not play down to their level. Come in, smack them in the mouth early, set the tone, and beat them the way you're supposed to. Again, I'd love to see a 27-10 type of game, 30-10. Make a statement. Make a statement so we can roll in. You got Cleveland Browns coming in next week. Make a statement. Let them know we are the real deal. And let's start this winning streak. Let's start this winning. Let's go 2-0 and start that winning streak talk. And so this is my breakdown, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed it. And at the end of the day, let me know what you expect of our defense. What do you want to see out of our defense against this Carolina Panthers offense? So, again, I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Again, if you can't hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications. I hope you guys enjoy the game. At the end of the game, I think I'm going live with my guys, Chris, over the Protect the Show podcast, as well as the Severe Raider. We're going to hit you guys with our instant reaction to the game Sunday night. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you turn on that notification so you know when we do go live. But I appreciate you. Enjoy the game. I'll see you guys on the next video. I'm out.